Hey everyone, it's Sentypes, and that's right, a new Japanese set just dropped. This is the set Stellar Miracle, which will be our set Stellar Crown. It is not all of Stellar Crown. I don't know exactly what is missing. However, it has some really good cards and really interesting cards. And I'm looking at this, and right off the bat, this deck plays cards that are from Shrouded Fable as well. So if some of you are confused, Shrouded Fable or Night Wanderer, the Japanese set, which is essentially the same as Shrouded Fable, recently released in Japan. It might have been like a month ago, and is releasing internationally within 2 weeks. I'm not sure of the exact date, but it's releasing soon. If you're paying attention to the Pokemon World Championship, it will be legal before that, so it needs to be 2 weeks before that. So that's when it is, and it's a mini set. It's not for a mini set. It's really good, but mini sets are generally pretty like underwhelming. Paldean Fates was the most recent one, other than Shrouded Fable. That one was really bad. Then we had like 151, or sometimes people call it Miu because that's its set symbol, which is kind of weird. But 151 was okay. It is certainly, compared to a regular set, it's much worse, but um, it has some okay cards. But the Shrouded Fable has some really good cards. Notably, we do see this Dusknoir line, which is interesting, and this stretcher card, a nightly stretcher, a night stretcher, or something. And I'm sure there are going to be some other cards that are going to come up. So I'll mention those when I see them, but I'm not going to talk about them as much as the brand new Japanese cards. But so I don't know what these decks are. I've just opened it up and I have not looked at them yet. I literally just, as I said, saw the Dusknoir line. But let's pull up this Dragapult list in a new tab. And Dragapult EX, you know it or you don't. If you don't, it does 200 for Fire and Psychic, and then it also let me pull these up, and it's a Dragon Pokemon. It's a Terra Pokemon as well, which matters. It is called Stellar Crown. But Stellar Pokemon aren't actually a mechanic. There are some Stellar Pokemon which we'll talk about, I imagine, but it's not a true mechanic. It's just a kind of variation of the Terra mechanic. So Terra Pokemon are immune to bench damage. But then the big thing is that they're Terra. It just says that so you can use them with certain tool cards and cards just in general. But we see Dracoloak, Dragapult, Pidgeot EX as well, and then we see the Dusknoir line. I think it's a 2-1-1 line. Dusknoir, Dusclops, they knock themselves out, and when they do, you place a bunch of damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and that means that you can apply pressure. But as I said, you knock yourself out, so you're going to give up a prize. You need to kind of weigh the benefits and the downsides. But then we see Pheasantipede EX as well. That's a new card. It's just a support Pokemon, like Rotom V and Lumineon V, and then Manaphy, and I guess Pidgeot EX as well. But it draws 3 or 4 when your Pokemon is knocked out. Last turn, rescue. No, what's this? Nightly Stretcher or something. Night Stretcher. I've heard it translated either way. It says you put a basic Pokemon, sorry, any Pokemon or basic energy from your discard pile into your hand, but just one. So that's pretty good. And then I think that's it for cards from Shrouded Fable, but then we have some other really cool cards. We most notably have this card here, Sparkling Crystal. And this card is really good, specifically for Dragapult. It works with a lot of other cards, but it's pretty insane for Dragapult. Also, the set's it's a decent size. And I am using the website PokemonCard.io for the decks and Pokemon Proxies for the cards that aren't out yet, Limitless for the cards that are. And so Sparkling Crystal says the attack cost of the Terra Pokemon this card is attached to is reduced by 1 of any type of energy. And Dragapult EX, it's a Terra Pokemon. It's going to be attacking cheaper. It does 200 mounts for 1 energy. It is Arvin searchable as well. The tool, if it was an item, it would also be, but the item is more important than the tool. But having a tool that's super powerful, it's really good. Some of you may know the card Neo Upper Energy, which was played in. Also, I don't see any basic energies in the list, but I'm sure they're there somewhere. But some of you may know that New Upper Energy played in Dragapult EX sometimes. However, it's an energy, so it is not searchable off of Arvin, and it's kind of awkward. You need to Pidgeot EX for it. It's a special energy as well, so you can't use Earthen Vessel, which we see in this list. But now you can, because you can Earthen Vessel for the basic energy, and then also, sorry, the basic energies are here. I missed those. They were kind of covered up. So yeah, pretty much you're going to go and Dragapult EX for 1 energy potentially. You have Mela, and I think we see Crispin as well. Yeah, we see 2 copies of, I believe Crispin is the name of the supporter. Um, Also, I want to take a look in a new tab. Yeah, I don't. We see the Death Star line as well. But Crispin is a pretty interesting supporter. It says search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards of different types, reveal them to your opponent, and put one of them into your hand and attach the other to one of your Pokemon. This does not have to work with Terra Pokemon specifically, but of course, well, no. The Stellar Pokemon have different attack costs or different energy types in their attack costs. So the Trap Ghost, which is I think the best one, its one attack is going to be Grass, Water, Lightning, so 2 different energy types could be useful. And Dragon Pokemon also do, so it works really well with Dragapult. And so that's pretty interesting. This next list looks pretty similar. Well, actually, no, it doesn't look similar. It's Dragapult still, though, with Sparkling Crystal. And we do see Xadu here. I'm not a big fan of Xadu and Dragapult because, well, Zadu's a bit inconsistent, but still a really, really strong card. I mean, Dragapult's really good. So anything that kind of helps it is still going to be good. Then we have another list here. This one runs Mimikyu. Mimikyu, good card. And some other things. We see Lance searching for a bunch of Dragon Pokemon. Some cool cards here in general, but and we do see Pheasantipity EX as well. Next we got Wait, is this Galvantula? Okay, so no, this is not Dragon Ball. I was like, what? This is a crazy Dragon Ball list. It's not Dragon Ball. Also, I don't know what this card is here. Someone tell me in the comments, and also link to the timestamp. I always like ask in these types of videos what the a certain card is, and then people just respond. But then I forget because I usually sometimes I like wait a week to release a video. And then I like look through and like, oh, yeah, that's what it is. But it would be obviously I need to try to remember, but it would also be useful if you could timestamp it or tell me what deck I'm looking at. But this is Galvantula EX with Blissey EX and Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. No, sorry. Teal Mask Ogerpon EX and the Joltik as well. Joltik is pretty interesting, and Galvantula EX also pretty interesting. I think Galvantula EX is solid. It has 2 attacks, Charged Web for Lightning Colorless. Although we do see we don't even see an even split. We see mostly Crass, which I guess makes sense. But it does 220 to an EX or V, which is very solid. Going to be one-shotting pretty much, not all basic EXs or Vs, but a lot. And also will be one-shotting Lugia V Star and Origin Form Palkia V Star, which we might take a look at. I'm not sure. But then we have the attack Fulgurite for Grass Lightning Fighting, 180 to discard all energy from this Pokemon. And during your opponent's next turn, they can't play any items from their hand, which is pretty insane. Not on a lot of levels. Item block it's insane good and bad. It's insane good because item block and big damage insane, but the attack cost is crazy, and you discard all the energies. So we see Blissey EX, which allows you to move your energies around, and we also see Cornerstone Mask. No, sorry, I keep saying the wrong one. Teal Flame Mask Ogerpon EX. We see Glass Trumpet. Oh, Glass Trumpet. Okay, I guess we need to talk about that. I'm not sure what that card is. I don't think it's a new card though. Oh, wait, I should show off the Joltik as well. Joltik is pretty good. I don't know if you choose to go second with this deck, but it has its attack Battery Charge, which says search your deck for up to 2 basic Grass Energy cards and up to 2 basic Lightning Energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Joltik, the pre-evolution to Galvantula, only 30 HP, but you're able to accelerate to the Galvantulas or the Joltiks, but then you can also accelerate to other Pokemon because Blissey EX lets you move 1 energy each turn. And it does stack, so if you have multiple Blissies, you can move multiple energies. We see Crispin. I don't recognize this supporter, not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm like really, really trying here. I'll pull up. Actually, no, this doesn't have all the Japanese cards. But then we do see, yeah, no, that's definitely not Akaberry or whatever. So then we see Glass Trumpet here with it's an item card. This is super good as well. You can only use this if you have a Terra Pokemon in play, which you definitely do. You always do, essentially. The Galvantula is a Terra Pokemon, a Stellar Pokemon because of its different types. But then Teal Mask Ogerpon EX is also a Terra Pokemon. So if you have any of the Ogerpons, you got Dragapult, you got whatever in play, you can use this card and choose up to 2 of your bench colorless Pokemon and attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to each of them. That's really good. If you're familiar with Mirage Gate and Standard, it's not quite as just raw powerful, but it is easier to use because it doesn't require you to have 7 cards of the Lost Sun, right? And then it accelerates to your bench colorless Pokemon, but then those bench colorless Pokemon are Blissey EX, and you just move the energies off to your Galvantula. This looks really cool. We see this other list looks pretty similar. Yeah, still not sure what this red card is here. But Yeah, I mean the deck looks really, really strong, or potentially really strong, much stronger than I thought it was going to be. I didn't really think through how to power it up outside of the tool card and the Joltix and stuff, but this seems really powerful and really cool. Maybe I think it's cool. I know some people don't like item lock, understandably, but item lock is pretty good. Also, I'm going to pull up what set is this? I want to pull up the Japanese set. Oh, they do have Stellar Miracle and Limitless. Okay, well, I'm gonna pull that up. No, okay, that doesn't look like the card. Um, is that Power Hourglass? That might be. Okay, that might be Power Hourglass, which accelerates energy to you if you're in the active at the end of your turn. So I think that's what that is, which accelerates. And I imagine people have commented that down below already. But this card accelerates energy at the end of your turn after you attack. And then you discard the energy with your attack, so it's like re-accelerating one energy, which is pretty cool. Another form of energy acceleration. We got so much. We got Crispin. We just got all these cards, and they are really good. We also see Crispin. I mean, there's just so much stuff, and it seems really powerful and cool as well. I will say. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what that supporter is. I'm sure it's like some obvious support. It kind of looks like Arvin, but I don't think it's Arvin. But this deck is really, really, potentially really annoying to deal with. Next, we got Hydrapple EX. This card is not the best in my opinion. Also, this might have to be a two-parter. We'll see. But Hydrapple EX, it has its ability Ripe Charge. Once during a turn, you can attach a basic grass energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. If you do heal 30 from that Pokemon, and Syrup Storm is going to do 30 for two colorless, but you're accelerating energy, and 30 more for each grass energy attached to all your Pokemon. So you want 2 energy on Hydrapple. And I think that's probably Teal Mask. Wait, is that not Teal Mask Ogerpon? Oh no, this. What it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Um, no, that's Teal Mask. I can't see the Pokemon. But Teal Mask Ogerpon EX is here, and I mean it's just Oh, sorry. This is like Teal Mask Ogerpon Raging Bolt EX with Hydrapple. That's kind of interesting. That seems kind of clunky because Raging Bolt EX is its own thing, but also it has some issues, right? Raging Bull Ogerpon has bad late games, but it also doesn't have Sawdust Vitality. It does, but it has a lot of other supporters. So this is kind of interesting. I feel like it's kind of sketchy as well. But then here we see just the more of what I was expecting: a bunch of Ogerpons, Grass Ogerpons, and then a bunch of Hydrapples. And oh, there's a Diplin apparently as well. Oh, and this one's actually pretty good. 20 for, well, it's solid. 20 for 1 grass during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon. Just straight up walling basics. If you're against the Reasonable Ogerpon deck that doesn't play Hydrapple, then you can just win, essentially on the spot. Okay, we see Toadschool EX. I think, is Toadschool EX and no, those are the Raging Bolts. Toadschool EX, though, it's a thing, it does stuff. It's a damage ramp, and also it like walls certain things. It's a card. It's I don't know. It's I don't really know what to say about it. So it's a weird, funny card. Um, then yeah, more of the same. I don't want to discredit this list. All the lists are cool and kind of unique. But Hydrapple EX I don't think is that good. Then we got Hisuian Zorak V-Star with Terapagos EX. This is pretty crazy. So Hisuian Zorak V-Star, for those who don't know, it does 50 damage for each Pokemon in play that you have that has damage counters on it. Normally you have 5 bench Pokemon in your active, and that is going to be doing a whopping 300 or 280 with a double turbo energy. You could push it up to higher damage with buffs and stuff, but it's not one-shotting everything. But now we see wait, is that just Terapagos? Oh, these are Terapagos decks. So Terapagos EX, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll talk about it more now. And it has its attack here, Unified Beatdown, which is the main attack. Not the only usable attack here, but it's the main attack, 30 times multiplier for each of your bench Pokemon. But there's a stadium that essentially just lets you have 8 bench Pokemon. So then you're going to be hitting 240. Okay, I was just checking. There's no double turbo energies in this list. That seems bold, but that's cool. And then Crown Opal is solid for Grass, Water, Lightning, 180 during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from non-basic colorless Pokemon. So this will be walling, Ogerpon, Raging Bolt, and I guess Miraidon is a card that sees play, and then Chien-Pao EX as well. Those both see play, and I'm sure there's some other Pokemon that I'm forgetting. There are some basic fire Pokemon, but it's pretty solid. And then You can't use Unified Beatdown the first attack here, turn 1 going second either. Now, we also see the stadium here, Area 0 under depths. You can have 8 bench Pokemon, but assuming you have a Terra Pokemon in play. So, we saw, I think all these decks have been Terra decks, but this Galvantula deck looks like it's not playing the stadium. No, it's just playing Artizone, but you could then get that bigger bench. There's some interesting things. If you lose the Terra Pokemon or you lose the stadium, your bench shrinks. So that creates some kind of weird interactions. It doesn't actually matter very much for this deck because you'll just get rid of your Gengars and you can just get them back again. But we see that same, we see Gapeshot Bog as well. So you have the classic Zoroark V-Star things going on. We see the Glass Trumpet card as well, that you accelerate the 2 energies from your deck. And you can play multiple of this per turn as well. So you can power up the Trapghost EX turn 1 going second. We also see some, in this upper right-hand corner here, we see some really cool cards. What I consider to be the coolest set of cards from the set. I'd group the Stadium and Glass Trumpet in as well, which I think are all the new cards, and they're interesting. Talked about Glass Trumpet, talked about Trapghost, talked about the Stadium, but then we have 2 different evolution lines. I guess I'll talk about Boufflant here as well. But we have Noctowl. Noctowl, its ability only works if you have a Terra Pokemon in play, which you will with Trapghost. And it says, search your deck for any 2 trainers, reveal them, put them into your hand. This is really good. I mean, this is pretty insane. If you're familiar with the Drizzle from Sword and Shield base set, it saw play. It did see play because of cards like Scoop Up Net, a lot of search for it, and some other things, but it searched for 1 trainer. And then the Inteleon was the stage 2 search for 2 trainers, essentially in the same way. But this is better than both because it's the stage 1 aspect of Drizzle searching for two trainers like Inteleon. Also, sorry, my voice is a little scratchy or something. My allergies have been bothering me recently. But this ability is super good. Decks that can make great use of it. It's absolutely insane. Not like game-breakingly good, but it's very good. And I think it's going to be really fun as well. I'm really excited to play it. Then we have Fan Rotom. Fan Rotom's kind of weird, but it has its ability Fan Call. Once in your turn, you may use this ability. On your first turn, you may use this ability, and only on your first turn. Search your deck for up to 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 HP or less, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle this, then shuffle your deck. You can't use more than one of this ability this turn. So you can only use 1 Fan Rotom per game. You probably never want 2, but it does have a usable attack as well. Assault Landing, 70 for 1, assuming you have a stadium in play, or there is a stadium in play. It doesn't need to be yours. And that's pretty cool. 70 for 1 is actually really solid. It's obviously not like insane, but it's a solid, like what I describe as a poke attacker, which does a little bit of damage, but very easily, and it does have 70 HP itself as well. But it can search out your Hoo-Hoo and Noctowl, your Bidoofs, not your Barbarrels, but then there's also Boufflant, which it can search out, which has this ability Curly Wall. If you have another Boufflant in play, all your basic colors Pokemon take 60 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon. It does not stack though, so there's some interesting things with this card, I guess. But yeah, so you got this like whole combo. Trapghost is the big card from this set, and it's I think really cool. You also have the A-Spec to attack cheaper, but we don't see that in this list. We just see the card, the Trumpet. There we go, and only 3 copies. Wow, okay. So you're just relying on that, and yeah, I don't know. I just think the deck's pretty cool. Not necessarily the Student Zoroark V-Star deck, but I think that's kind of cool. But I think the Trapghost is really cool. And this list is more focused on which is it run his Human Zoroark V-Star? Oh yeah, it's in the middle here. And then you see the Trapghostes, we see Dodrios. Oh, we see a bunch of Fan Rotoms. It will also search out Doduo and Dodrio. So I just said you wouldn't play more than 1. This list literally plays 3, but yeah, I think the Fan Rotom is really cool. I think a little underrated. Noctowl is really cool. No Noctowl on this list because you're filling up your bench a lot and stuff like that. But Noctowl pretty cool, and all this stuff's really cool, and it's definitely what is intended to be played from this set, as well as with the tool. Sparkling Crystal, which can be used with other things. Also, Glass Trumpet does not have to be 2 Terra Pokemon. I said that earlier, you accelerate to Blissey EX, but that's not a Terra. You can accelerate to Hisuian Zoroark V-Star, which isn't a Terra. So yeah, just really strong stuff going on here. We see, a shocking amount of here in Zurich V-Star with the stadium. Then we see Origin Form Palkia V-Star with, wow, this deck is kind of hard to see. Wait, is this Dreadnought in the deck? I don't actually know. I don't think this Carmen's in the deck. I can't. Is that Empoleon? What? Okay, so sorry, I was getting distracted. We see a bunch of things going on here. It's a little hard to follow, but Origin Point Palkia V Star, it does 60 twin more for each bench Pokemon in play between you and your opponent. Normally, this is going to be hitting 260 if you both have full benches, but your opponent probably won't. So then you can now be hitting, if you have a full bench, that's 8 bench Pokemon, and then you hit that's going to be hitting 220 with your opponent having no bench. If you both have full benches, um, you're hitting, I think, 380. I'm not sure if I counted that right, but you're hitting a lot. You're one-shotting everything. That's probably not happening, but still really cool there. And we see the it's at the stadium. I think that's this. That's not the stadium. That's some supporter. What supporter is that? Is that Lacey? I actually don't know. This deck's kind of hard to read. I'm just gonna skip to the next one. There's some cool stuff here. I'll talk about the Dreadnought. Yeah, I want to actually talk about the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought's really cool. I don't even know if it's in the deck, but it's a really fun card that is really good. Impregnable Shell, if an attack from your opponent's Pokemon would deal 200 damage or more, prevent that damage. It's just a wall. So kind of cool there. It's a stage 1, though. But yeah, we see a bunch of weird things here. We got Monkey Dory with Gengar and Glass Trumpets and Palkias and so much stuff going on here. Kind of cool. So Palkia V-Star is still really good. We see Chimp-How EX, or actually no, still really good. It's not that good right now. It's going to be really solid though, being able to hit more damage. And really cool deck. Then we have, another deck that's pretty similar. We see a 2/2 Noctowl. Similar stuff, and more of the same. This deck is super good though. I think it's a little weird because it has so many different options. We see Blood Moon Ursa Luna EX and a bunch of different things going on here. Now you see Babarrel. Babarrel, it's a classic Pokemon. We do see the Bouffons making their way into the deck as well, and we see a bunch of Noctowls. We see honestly, it's mostly just Terapagos. We do see Gengar being put in again. Gengar is just a Pokemon that goes from the discard pile into play. It's so easy to get into play. And apparently just in play as well. And you can easily search out boss's orders, penny, whatever you want on a turn using the Noctowl as well. So Prime Catcher is also really good. You can just play research and you're almost guaranteed to get Prime Catcher because you can get Noctowl. Then we see Reggie's with Terapagos. This is crazy. So if you're not familiar with Regigigas, it has its ability which says, I think it's Regigate, and it's pretty good, I guess. Oh no, I don't know where I got that from. Oh no, that's the attack of the other Reggies. So Ancient Wisdom is the ability. Once during a turn, if you have all the Reggies in play, all 6 of them, including Regigigas, then you may attach up to 3 energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. This can be any Pokemon and any energies. So they can be special energies. And we see Zero. Okay, this is weird. There's so much stuff going on in this deck. We see Iron Hands EX, Roaring Moon EX, Radiant Greninja, and then we see Trap Ghost as well. And then EX because you have the stadium to increase your bench size. So now you can have all 6 Reggies and still have 3 more bench slots or slots in play. That's pretty insane. This is going to be doing some crazy stuff. It needs to get a little lucky, I gotta imagine, but still really, really powerful and really, really cool here as well. And now we're moving on to the other decks, which I think I'm actually going to save for another video. So make sure you subscribe. Consider liking the video. Comment down below your thoughts on these cards. But I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.